Welcome to the Modern Manifestation Podcast. I'm your host, Bree Brown, a business mindset coach, entrepreneur, and a top competitor in a male-dominated industry. I'm a native Texan, the youngest of all brothers, and a lettuce-hating, wine-loving, curses-like-a-sailor recovering perfectionist. I've spent over a decade building my commission-based career, and my life's purpose is helping other women achieve the same multi-six-figure success I achieved before I was 25. I have a passion for helping women with mindset, money, and manifestation skills to help every young woman realize her full potential. If you're looking for vulnerable conversations, professional development, inspiration, or even a kick in the ass to get you motivated, you have come to the right place. Thanks for checking out the Modern Manifestation Podcast. Now let's jump right in to today's topic. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Modern Manifestation Podcast. Huge shout out and thank you to everyone that has reviewed the podcast lately. I have been flooded with new reviews and I love it. And if you hadn't had a chance to do it just yet, just remember if you are able to fill out a review and screenshot it and email it to me at hello@themodernmanifestation.com, then I will follow up with my Creating Space for Abundance freebie. So if you have an opportunity and you're enjoying this content, you would be doing me a huge favor by heading over and submitting a review. Okay, so let's jump into today's topic. Today, we are diving into another money mindset topic. Today, we are specifically addressing why you might be able to manifest other things and you can't seem to manifest actual cash, actual money for yourself. So you might be manifesting all of these little things like discounts and gifts, etc. And for whatever reason, you're struggling to get the actual money in your bank account. For some reason, in the manifestation world, people seem to think that manifesting money is harder than everything else. But I'm here to tell you that it is not. It is just as easy to manifest $10 as it is to manifest $100,000. Actually, instead of the word easy, I will say it's the same process instead, because the mindset work is definitely anything but easy. Becoming an energetic match for money requires you to work on your mindset to get into the same frequency as money. And that is as hard as you want it to be, or as hard as you resist it, I would rather say. The difference is you are either a match for that $10 or you're a match for that $100,000. And sometimes, because we have this idea about money specifically, we're able to manifest it in other ways, but then we're also just not recognizing that as a success for ourselves. And right now you're probably just like, great, but how do I become a match for that $100,000, that actual cash? The answer is simple, but it's going to feel hard. You have to become an energetic match by changing your beliefs, your core beliefs. It's that mindset work. It's that part of your identity. You cannot manifest things you want with negative thoughts and alignment. And this is where a lot of clients love to stop me and say, but I don't have any negative beliefs about money, or I just don't have any more negative beliefs or limiting beliefs to work through. I've done that all. Or I've never done it and I just don't believe that I personally have any. And yet I am struggling to manifest and I can't seem to figure out why. I'm going to be real direct here. You do have negative beliefs. Everyone does. I do. We all do. So I'm going to give you a real corny metaphor here, but I think it'll help. Imagine your brain as a can of white paint. The whole can of white paint, like those are all your thoughts, your ideas, everything that forms the cognitive thought that you're having every day. And when you have a negative idea that comes to you as a child, usually, anyway, for most of us, it's when we're as children, it might be something like let's take the example of you have to work hard for money. You allow that idea to come into your mind. And often that idea decides to stay and form a negative belief about money and the fact that you always have to work hard for it. And when this happens, you allow a few drops of red pigment into your white paint can. So the white paint can's your brain, and this red pigment are those negative thoughts that you're allowing to introduce themselves into your brain, and they stay. They start to turn the paint a little pink, and then it gets darker and darker and darker over time until you have this red base. Because over time, every time this negative belief is challenged and reaffirmed for yourself, you allow a few more red pigment drops into the can. So it starts to get darker and more vibrant for that red color. And this is great when you have a wall that you want to paint red. This is your $10 wall. You're already a match for that $10 wall because you've accepted those beliefs your whole life. You've already been painting the town fucking red. So glad I got to use that analogy as well. But when you get to that $100,000 wall, that color is different. It might be more vibrant or even a different shade. Maybe it's purple. So your paint or your thoughts have to become more vibrant and change shade to match that new color that you want. And this means that you have to find a way to stop pouring in drops of red into your white paint can and change the drops to blue. That is a conscious choice, and one you will have to remember each time the old belief comes up. Becoming conscious of the beliefs is a critical first step. Taking a moment to stop and think, wait, am I choosing to pour red or blue into this new thought, into this new paint can, or whatever, if we're going with that metaphor still? It's a new way of thinking. It's pausing. It's deciding how to respond instead of responding on autopilot. And as you start pouring more blue into the paint can, over time, the color gradually starts to change to that purple you're looking for. And this is how you start to shift to become a match for that $100,000 wall. You intentionally choose different thoughts, which change your vibration. And this comes from awareness. You have to be aware of those negative thoughts first in order to change them, because you can't change what you don't know. And if you're one of those people that says, I don't have negative beliefs around money, there's a good chance you're not aware of that thought yet. And that's why you're not able to move forward. You're not actually able to manifest that cash. So in the meantime, you're likely manifesting other shit along the way. Like if you've been on this manifestation journey, most of us are still here because we've seen it work for us in some way. But manifestation isn't black or white. So maybe if we're using our analogy still, maybe there's a vacation wall, a car wall, a discount wall, a gift card wall. Maybe it's just a gift wall in general. And you might become a match for some of those other walls while you transform your color. And when this happens, you begin to manifest things other than money. And what's funny is you're in the process of changing your thoughts, and yet all you can seem to think about is but I still don't have the money. I still don't have that actual cash. And it's you're not stopping to recognize the little successes you've already achieved. When you're on the right path, you begin to receive. And receiving comes in all energetic forms. You can receive discounts, gift cards, freebies, gifts. You become an energetic match for receiving, and so you continue to receive. And when this happens, don't crap all over it just because it's not cold hard cash. Remember to celebrate and have gratitude for those little things, right? You want to thank the universe and be like, hey, thanks so much for giving me all this good shit that I want, and I can't wait to continually receive more. And even though it's energetically the same, most of us still have a harder time manifesting cash over gifts and other things because of those beliefs. We believe that cash or money is just harder to come by. Maybe you have to work hard for it, win it. You have to be lucky. You have to inherit it, or even, in some cases, steal it. Most of us do not believe that large sums of money can just show up in the mail or come to you as a gift. And you can't manifest more money coming to you, or at least coming to you easily, if you believe at your core that you have to work hard for it. With that thought, you are creating this arbitrary rule for yourself that it won't come unless you are overworked or burnt out or always working. Maybe you saw your parents work 80-hour weeks in order to bring in money, and so you have this thought in your head that, in order to get money, I have to nearly kill myself by working extremely long hours to get there. Other people can manifest large amounts of money, but I cannot. Why is that? And when you believe that money is the ultimate manifestation or the end-all be-all, you make it a challenge in your mind. You might manifest a vacation to Cancun or a new car or a paddleboard or Apple Watch or whatever, and then complain that you can't manifest actual cash or money. But you can, because it is the same. But if your brain is that paint can and you've dumped all these red drops in there or all these negative beliefs over years, then of course, every time you try to pull out the paintbrush to create something, it is dripping with red instead of the purple that you want. Your thoughts create a lens in which you manifest from, and your manifestations will have that red hue on them until you find out the source of the red paint drops and cut it off. And then you find the blue pigment and you start putting that in. So how do you do that? Get to the core of your beliefs around money. Become aware of your conscious thought patterns so that you can stop them. You can create new thoughts, and you can train your brain to prioritize these new high vibe thoughts instead of the old ones that you've been carrying around for so long. And to do this, you can start by asking yourself these 3 questions. The first one, was I taught that money was easy or hard to come by growing up? Second question, what were some of the expressions that my parents or guardians said or used about money? And the third one, was money always put on a pedestal in my family or in my surroundings or even in the movies that I watched? And that last question is very important because many of us can manifest so many other things because we believe that they are easier to get. Maybe we think they're less valuable or they're just more abundant or it's just an easier thing to bring into your life. Or your brain just understands that, oh, it's easy to win a vacation because that's all about luck. That happens all the time. I hear about people winning these things. So that is something that your brain can conceptually understand and doesn't limit. But if you put money on a pedestal, you're operating from a place of scarcity. You might think something like, money is the answer to all my problems. Or people with money are above me or above poor people. Or if I can just get more money, then I can XYZ. Ask yourself what your views are of money, tangible money, and what it can do for you, or what you think it can do and achieve for you. Because that really gets down to the question of, do you actually want it, or do you want it desperately? You know, are we getting into that place of scarcity of it's like, I need it for all of these things to happen? And maybe also ask yourself, like, would I be more excited about manifesting $50,000 or a Range Rover? Because some people are like, oh, I want to manifest all this money so I can buy that new house, or I can get a car to get me to work, or I can go on that vacation, right? You use money as a resource or as a means to an end for those things. But when you win those things, you're far less likely to enjoy them. Like, for whatever reason, it's not as fulfilling as winning actual cash would be. And that is putting money on a pedestal. That is scarcity. So that could be a good little tool for you to use as well. Is just ask yourself, like, would I be more excited about winning actual cash over this other thing that I also want or need in my life? You can manifest money just as easily as everything else. But if you believe that money doesn't grow on trees, then all of your money manifestations will always be coded with this belief. So what you're telling the universe whenever you're trying to manifest actual cash is, I want to manifest more money, but I do not believe that it comes easily. So make me work hard for it. That's the signal you're sending. That's why it takes so much effort for people to manifest money, because they believe that that's what is required. That is not a rule that the universe determined. That is your own rule, your own arbitrary belief that you applied to yourself. And all of your manifestation thoughts are tainted with that belief. So if you think money would answer all of your problems, or that you need money in order to be successful and accomplish all these things, that is usually a great sign that you're treating it too much like a rare resource. Something that some can attain, but not all. It's scarcity. And while we're on that subject, I also want to bring up and ask you, what do you think about millionaires and billionaires? Because a lot of people, especially today in our political world, a lot of people resent them, or they think it's unfair that they exist. And this is one that I'm super guilty of, by the way. And I always have to remind myself that it's not the millionaires and the billionaires' fault the way our economic system is. They're just using it to their advantage. So why resent the people who have the money because of a system that they don't even control, right? And so don't hate them or don't hate the money because of something that is separate from that. You know what I mean? Like, sure, try to change the politics all you want if that's your thing, but don't hate the actual person behind that money or that has that money. Could they choose to be more conscious people with it? Sure, absolutely. And I hope that by using this, you're trying to create money for yourself in order to be that conscious person with that money someday that does good things for the world. But that is each millionaire and billionaire's prerogative currently, the way that our system's set up anyway. So don't resent people for the money they have because of a system that has allowed them to be. Because if you resent people with a lot of money, what does that say about your beliefs? Like, if you hate millionaires or billionaires, then why would you ever allow yourself to become one subconsciously? Like, if you really think that they are bad people, then in what world would your subconscious brain, who wants to be a good person, ever allow you to become that thing that you hate? So if you only think that bad people can become extremely wealthy, then your brain will make sure that you never become that. It wants to protect you from that. But I'm here to tell you that money does not make you a bad person. But a lot of people believe that it does. And that's what you're manifesting from. That's the core of your vibrations around money, if that is something you believe. So we covered a lot of info today on money. So this is where I'm going to leave you so that you can really marinate and go back through those questions and allow yourself to work through some of the beliefs that might be coming up for you. And if you have more questions about money, or if there's a specific topic that you really want me to dive into further, DM me on Instagram and I will work to either include it as a future podcast episode, or I could also include it in my money mindset course that I will be producing later this year. And even if you don't have a suggestion or a question, you just want to reach out and say hi, by all means, please do that. Find me on Instagram at Modern Manifestation. Say hello. Let me know what some of the topics were that you've enjoyed the most, and I will try to cater more episodes to you later. And if you just want to say hi to get to know me, more power to you. I love getting faces behind the names and the numbers. It really makes me feel like there are real people out there and not just bots in this day and age. Have a fantastic rest of your week, and I will catch y'all next Monday. Until then, go out there and manifest some miracles. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this podcast, hit subscribe so you can stay up to date with new episodes. As always, we would love it if you would share this episode with friends and family who could use the inspiration. As a new podcast show, we would really appreciate your honest feedback so I know what you like and what you could use more of. As a thank you for leaving us a rating, we will send you our 7 weekly tips to create space for abundance. Make sure you screenshot your review and email it to us at hello@themodernmanifestation.com so we can send them straight to your inbox. If you'd like to stay connected, you can find us on Instagram or Facebook at Modern Manifestation, or you can head to our website at themodernmanifestation.com. Thanks again for joining me, and I will catch y'all in the next episode.